Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, football fanatics and those who just like watching grown men chase a ball, welcome back to the glorious, ridiculous soap opera that is the Premier League. We're here for the 2025-26 season, a time for fresh starts, new kits, and most importantly, the annual tradition of hyping up teenagers who could either become the next global superstar or a forgotten footnote in the Wikipedia page for promising academy players. This season the trend is clear, they're getting younger, and we're getting more impressed. Arsenal has a 15-year-old who looks like he's been playing for a decade. Liverpool has a 16-year-old winger who makes us all question what we did with our lives at that age, and every other club is scrambling to find their own version of a prodigy. So, who is the breakout star to watch? Let's dive into a list that's part prophecy, part pure wishful thinking. 1. Arsenal, the 15-year-old who runs the show. First up, the team that's been in the news more than your uncle's questionable Facebook rants, Arsenal, and their prodigy. The name on everyone's lips is Max Baumann. At 15 years old, this kid is so talented, he was literally too young to play for the senior team last season. He's like a child prodigy concert pianist, but instead of Rachmaninoff, he's hitting through balls that have grown men drooling. Mikel Arteta is so impressed he started giving Baumann shout-outs after games, talking about his efficiencies and incredible impact. Translation: this kid is better than half my senior squad, and he's not even old enough to get a driving permit. I'm terrified. Baumann is so good, he probably got scouted while playing on a school playground during recess. You just know some scouts saw him nutmeg a teacher and immediately faxed a contract to his parents. Arteta says Baumann deserves to have chances, which is the professional way of saying I'm legally obligated to not give him too many minutes, but if I could, I'd start him in a Champions League final right now. His training sessions with the first team must be a sight to behold. Imagine a group of seasoned pros getting schooled by a kid who still has to ask his mom to pack his lunch. The only thing stopping Max Baumann from becoming a full-time Premier League player is the FA's child labor laws. They're just trying to protect the rest of the league, really. 2. Aston Villa, Emery's unbreakable standard. Next we head to Aston Villa, where breaking into Unai Emery's squad is harder than getting a reservation at a Michelin star restaurant. The man has standards. They don't just have to be Premier League good, they have to be Champions League good. It's a job for the best of the best, and this season, that man might just be George Hemmings. The 18-year-old midfielder is described as having a game understanding beyond his years. He's got that quiet confidence that I know what I'm doing, don't worry about its vibe. While everyone else is running around, he's just calmly picking passes like he's on his phone in the middle of a war zone. The first team players were struck by his ability. It's like watching a young player with the tactical awareness of an old man who's been playing chess for 50 years. He's the guy who tells your star striker where to run, and the striker just says, "Okay, sir." Unai Emery's standards are so high, he probably critiques his own toast in the morning. The consistency is not correct. It lacks a certain crunch, no? George Hemmings is the kind of player who has press resistance, which is a fancy term for he doesn't panic when 6 guys are trying to tackle him at once. The rest of us would just curl up into a ball and cry. When they say he has a game understanding beyond his years, they mean he's basically a 40-year-old in an 18-year-old's body. He's probably telling senior players, back in my day, during training. He's the midfielder every coach dreams of, composed, technical, and probably has a spreadsheet in his head of all the possible passing options. 3. Bournemouth, the pin-sized left back. Now for a team that has a left back spot open for business, Bournemouth, with Milos Kerkez gone, it's a 2-horse race, and while a 23-year-old was signed, the real story might be the 20-year-old, Julio Soler. He's a left back who, and I quote, has physical limitations. Standing at a towering 5 feet 6 in, he's basically a garden gnome with a deadly cross. His coach Andoni Iraola says he's a lovely player on the ball, which in football terms means he's like a tiny agile dancer who can do things with a football that defy his stature. He might not win headers against the giants of the league, but he'll probably just shimmy around them and leave them looking silly. He's living proof that size doesn't matter, as long as you can play a through ball that would make an angel weep. At 5'6", Julio Soler's physical limitations are so pronounced, his teammates probably have to give him a piggyback ride to the corner flag. When Areola says he's technically a lovely player, he's trying to say, he's brilliant with the ball at his feet, so please ignore the fact that he's the same height as my left thigh. Soler is the ultimate underdog story. He's the guy who shows up to a pickup game and everyone thinks he's a kid. Then he embarrasses everyone with his skills. He's the anti-target man. He's not there to win headers. He's there to make defenders look like they're trying to catch a fly with a baseball bat. 4. Brentford. The B-team graduate. Over at Brentford, a club known for their genius with data and transfers, the player to watch is Romell Donovan. He's an 18-year-old winger who joined their B team, and to everyone's surprise decided to be good at football. He scored 11 goals and had 10 assists in 15 appearances, which is basically video game numbers. They then immediately signed him to a 5-year contract and promoted him to the first team. They're basically saying, "You've exceeded our expectations, so we're going to throw you into the deep end now. Good luck, kid." Brentford's director of football said Donovan exceeded our expectations. You know what that means? They expected him to be okay, but he turned out to be amazing. It's like buying a cheap bag of chips and finding out they're all perfectly seasoned. The B team to first team pathway at Brentford is apparently a tricky one. It's like trying to get promoted at a company where the only way up is to impress the CEO by single-handedly increasing profits by 500% in 3 months. Donovan just did that. He's the kind of player who makes you think, how did we not know about him before? He was hiding in plain sight in Birmingham, quietly becoming a goal-scoring and assist-providing machine. 5. Brighton. The German import. Now to Brighton, where they're known for finding diamonds in the rough from obscure leagues. This season's gem, Stefanos Tsitsipas, a 19-year-old Greek striker from Germany's second division. Brighton paid over £20 million for him and gave him the coveted number 9 shirt. This is a team that doesn't make many recruitment mistakes, so either this guy is the next Lionel Messi, or he's the one mistake that will haunt them forever. The big question is whether he can make the leap. It's like going from playing in a high school band to headlining a stadium tour in a year. The pressure is immense, but Brighton believes. They've basically said, here's the number worn by a guy we just sold for a truckload of money. Don't mess it up. Brighton's recruitment team is basically a group of football alchemists. They find a random player in a forgotten league, sign him for a reasonable fee, and then he turns to gold. Tsitsipas is their latest experiment. A £20 million fee for a player from the German second division is the ultimate show of confidence. It's like a restaurant charging you $1,000 for a hot dog because they know it's going to be the best hot dog you've ever had. The No Mind shirt is basically a curse at most clubs. It's the jersey of legends, but also the jersey of a million flops. Tsitsipas has been handed the keys to the kingdom and a ticking time bomb at the same time. 6. Burnley. The French Flyer. Over at Burnley, a team trying to find its footing after a trip to the championship, they've signed Chauna. He's a 21-year-old winger from Serie A who cost around £12 million. The scouting report says he's a dynamic dribbler who is quick and excels in space. It also says he didn't stand out last season. This is basically the football equivalent of a movie trailer that says, he's really good at running, but the last film he was in was a flop, so we'll see. The last time Burnley was in the Premier League, they had a different strategy for signing players. This time they're just hoping one of them sticks. It's the throw everything at the wall and see what sticks approach to squad building. A player who excels in space is a great asset, but in the Premier League there's about as much space as there is in a crowded elevator during rush hour. He's going to have to find his own space, which is a whole new challenge. The fact that his fee is significant for a youngster who didn't stand out is the kind of honesty you only find in a post-match analysis. It's the equivalent of a friend saying, he's a good guy but he has no rhythm on the dance floor. 7. Chelsea. The patient Brazilian. At Chelsea, a club that has a new player every other day, we're looking at André Santos, a 21-year-old midfielder who has been waiting for his chance for 2 years, like a nervous intern hoping to get noticed by the boss. He had a disastrous loan at Nottingham Forest where he played less than 100 minutes, and then had a great loan at Strasbourg. It's a real Cinderella story, but with less of a glass slipper and more of a Chelsea loan contract. André Santos is the epitome of patience. He's been waiting for his chance at Chelsea so long, he probably knows all the words to every song from the 2023 season soundtrack. His disappointing loan at Forest, where he played for just 96 minutes, is the most relatable part of his story. We've all been on a project where we put in the time and got absolutely nothing out of it. He's finally getting a chance now, and Maresca is saying he's an important role player. That's coach speak, for he's going to be the guy we bring on in the 85th minute to try and save the game, but he's not good enough to start just yet. Wait, I mean he's a vital part of the squad. Yes. 8. Crystal Palace. The injured hope. Moving on to Crystal Palace, where their young player to watch is Hindolo Mustafa. There's just one tiny problem. He's currently out with a knee injury. He was lighting up the Premier League too, attracting loan interest, and then he got hurt. It's the classic tragic hero story. The hero gets a chance, then something happens to prevent him from taking it, and we're left with the question, what if? Hindolo Mustafa's story is a cruel reminder that in football as in life, just when you think you've got everything figured out, you can suffer a devastating knee injury. It's a real tale as old as time kind of deal. His injury scuppered his chances of impressing the manager. This is the perfect excuse for not getting a job. I would have been great at that job, but my knee was hurting that day. He's highly rated at the club, which means he's probably the best player on the training pitch when he's healthy, but he's still a mystery wrapped in an enigma. Will he recover? Will he be the same? We will find out, hopefully. 9. Everton. The Hollywood star. Now for Everton, where they've got a young man named Harrison Armstrong, and his teammates call him Hollywood. He's a typical Scouse midfielder, which means he's feisty, aggressive, and probably has a great sense of humor. He also goes by Bruce Wayne because of his exploits at Derby County. This kid is basically a superhero with a Liverpudlian accent, but he still can't break into the Everton starting lineup. Hollywood and Bruce Wayne. This kid has more alter egos than a rock star in the 70s. He's the kind of guy who probably has a secret identity he uses to go to the grocery store. Nobody suspects he's a professional footballer when he's just buying milk and bread. He's held in high regard at the club, but his pre-season appearances were fleeting. It's like being the most popular kid in school, but you still get left out of all the cool parties. He's held in high regard but might still have to go on loan. It's a classic situation. We love you, but we also can't play you here. So go somewhere else and get good so we can eventually play you here, maybe. 10. Fulham. The next big thing. At Fulham, a club that has produced some serious talent in recent years, they have Josh King. He's been compared to other great academy products like Patrick Roberts, Fabio Carvalho, and Harvey Elliott. He's a tidy player who's brave enough to demand the ball under pressure and is, well, quite short. It's like they have a factory that just churns out small, brave, and talented midfielders. King has taken a different path, by which they mean he actually signed a long-term contract with the club. It's the football equivalent of a relationship that lasts more than a few months. It's a new kind of rarity in the modern game. The fact that his contract is a reward for his mature midfield cameos is a nice way of saying you did what we expected you to, so we're going to give you more money to make sure you don't leave. It's a classic boss move. 11. Leeds. The grandson of a legend. Now to Leeds, where we're going to talk about Harry Gray. He's a 16-year-old who is apparently one of the best young players the club has produced in decades. He's a striker, and a youth coach once said his left foot is the best he has ever seen. That's like a mechanic saying a car's engine is the best they've ever heard. It's a very specific and very high form of praise. Harry Gray is part of a football dynasty at Leeds. His dad, his uncle, and his grandfather all played for the club. He's basically football royalty. You just know that at every family dinner they're probably having a tactical discussion about the last game, and his grandpa is saying, "Back in my day we didn't have to worry about VAR. We just had to worry about getting kicked in the shins." He played less than 10 minutes in the championship last season but was central to the title celebrations. This is the kind of guy who shows up to the party late and still gets all the credit. It's a special kind of talent, really. He's got Joel Pirro, Lucas Nappa, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin ahead of him, so he'll have to wait for his chance. It's like being a talented young actor, but all the leading roles are already taken by established A-listers. He's just waiting for one of them to get injured so he can get his big break. 12. Liverpool. The silky skilled winger. Over at Liverpool, they've got a 16-year-old winger named Rio Namuha. He's got silky skills and creative play, and he's already catching the eye of Arne Slot. He's a player who is impossible to ignore, according to the writers. He's the kind of player who shows up to a pre-season game and makes everyone go, "Wait, who is that kid?" Liverpool are keen to show him there's a pathway, which is code for, "We paid a lot of money to get you from Chelsea, so please don't leave us in a few years." It's a classic courtship, but with a lot more money and a lot more pressure. Luis Diaz's departure has opened a spot, and Namoha is breathing down the Dutchman's neck. That's a very literal and very funny image of a 16-year-old in a training session, just following Cody Gakpo around whispering, "I'm coming for your spot, man. I'm coming for it." Namoha is so good, his rapid development is being noted by everyone. He's like a plant that just grows overnight and suddenly has all these beautiful flowers. You just sit there and go, wow, I didn't see that coming. 13. Manchester City, the young Norwegian. Now for Manchester City, where they have a player who might have already broken through if not for a broken leg, Oscar Bob. He's a 22-year-old Norwegian winger, and he's got pace, agility, and the ability to go either way on a defender. But he's been sidelined by injuries, and now he has to compete with Savinho and Jeremy Doku. It's like trying to get a job at a company where the top two positions are already filled by robots who do everything perfectly. Bob just has to hope one of them breaks down. Bob's story is a tragic one. He was on the verge of greatness, and then a broken leg derailed everything. He's the kind of guy who was about to win the lottery, and then the ticket got caught in a gust of wind and flew into a sewer drain. He's got mature decision-making that belies his youth, which is a great compliment for a player at a Pep Guardiola team. It means he's not going to try to do a fancy trick when a simple pass will do. He's a practical guy. He's competing with Savinho and Doku, who haven't proven they can provide the end product. This is the most polite way to say, these guys are fast, but they have no idea what to do with the ball once they get to the final third. It's like watching an amazing sports car get stuck in a traffic jam. 14. Manchester United, the defensive hope. And now for Manchester United, where the player to watch is Aiden Heaven. He just beat Luke Shaw in minutes at left center-back during pre-season, which is a great accomplishment, especially since Luke Shaw is an actual professional footballer. Heaven is apparently calm, technical, and has a lot of quality and character. He's the kind of guy who looks like he's been playing for a decade, even though he's a teenager. Ruben Amorim is a big fan, which is good news for Heaven. It means he's probably not going to be on the transfer list next week. For now. He's got an agent mom, which is a whole new level of dedication. She's probably the kind of mom who calls the coach after every game and says, "My son didn't get enough minutes. What's going on?" He's a defender who used to be a midfielder, which means he's comfortable on the ball. It's the kind of guy who can score from the back and then pretend he didn't mean to, which is a very special skill. 15. Newcastle United, the Danish striker. At Newcastle, the player to watch is Will Osula. He's a 21-year-old striker who made 14 appearances last season but never started a game. Now, he's in line to be the first-choice center-forward for the Premier League campaign. This is not because of his amazing skill, but because the club has a significant lack of strikers. This is a real you're the last person on the team, so you have to place kind of situation. Osula is described as tall, quick, and can use both feet. But he remains unrefined, and has yet to show he can be a consistent goal scorer. This is the perfect backhanded compliment. He's got all the tools, but he doesn't know how to use them yet. He's a hammer in a toolbox, but he's never built a house. He's getting a chance because the club failed to sign a striker. It's the most relatable story in football. A team has a problem, they don't solve it, and then a random guy gets a chance to be the hero. 16. Nottingham Forest. The towering Brazilian. For Nottingham Forest, they've got Jair Cunha, a 20-year-old central defender who is 6 feet 6 in tall. He's a towering figure, but he's also mobile and comfortable in possession. He's a gentle giant who can also play football. The only problem is he has to compete with Murillo and Nikola Milinkovic. It's a real you're great, but the two guys in front of you are also great, so good luck kind of situation. Jair Cunha is so tall he probably has to duck every time he goes through a doorway. He's the kind of player who can win every header without even jumping. He's been playing at right back in pre-season, which is a great way to say, we're not sure where to play him, so we'll just put him somewhere and see what happens. He's got a reputation as one of the most promising young defenders in Brazil, which is a great reputation to have. It's like being called one of the most promising young actors in Hollywood. It means you're good, but you still have to prove yourself. 17. Sunderland. The confident teenager. Now for a newly promoted side, Sunderland, who have Chris Rigg. He's a midfielder who made his debut at 15, and has technique, awareness, balance, and aggression. He's also building physical strength. This is the kind of guy who's going to get bigger and stronger every year, and the rest of the league is going to be terrified. He's the kind of guy who's going to be a nightmare to play against in a few years. He requires no introductions to Sunderland supporters, which is a nice way of saying they already know this kid is the truth, so we don't have to explain it. He's a local hero already. He's only 18, but he's already a regular with England under 19. He's on the fast track to success. He's basically a rocket ship waiting to take off. The flood of midfield signings might mean he has to be patient, but he has consistently shown a maturity to impress. He's the kind of guy who's not going to complain about not getting minutes. He's just going to keep working hard until he gets his chance. 18. Tottenham. The Croatian giant. Over at Tottenham, they've got a lot of exciting young prospects, but the most promising of them all might be Luka Vuskovic, an 18-year-old Croatian defender who is 6'4" and tall. He's dominant in aerial duels and has an impressive burst of pace. He's basically a combination of a freight train and a gazelle. The only problem is he has to compete with Mickey van de Ven and Christian Romero. It's a real "you're great, but the two guys in front of you are also great, so good luck" kind of situation, but with more talented people in front of him. Vuskovic scored 7 goals on loan last season, which is a lot for a defender. He's the kind of guy who can win the game at both ends of the pitch. He's a two-way player like a hockey star, but with more headbutts and fewer sticks. He's a center back who can drive attacks forward, like his teammate Mickey van de Ven. They're basically 2-for-1 players. They defend, and they also start the attack. It's a new kind of football. 19. West Ham. The academy graduate. At West Ham, they've got Freddie Potts, a 21-year-old midfielder who is the son of a club legend. He's gained first-team experience during successful loan spells, and he's signed a long-term deal. He believes he has a similar playing style to Edson Alvarez, which is a good thing to believe. It's like believing you have a similar playing style to Lionel Messi. It's a good thing to aim for, but also a little bit delusional, in a good way. He's the son of an academy coach, which is a whole new level of pressure. He's the kind of guy who probably has his dad watching every game, giving him a critique afterward. "You could have made that pass better, Freddie. Remember what I told you." He's got all the attributes needed to follow in the footsteps of another academy graduate, which is a nice way of saying, we think he's going to be good, but we're not sure yet. We're just putting it out there so we can say we told you so if he becomes a star. 20. Wolverhampton, the Portuguese talent. Finally at Wolves we have Matheus Mane, a 17-year-old forward who is highly rated. He's already leapfrogged older forwards from the academy, which is a great sign. It's like being a freshman in college and getting a higher GPA than a senior. It means you're on the right track. He's likely to be loaned out in the next couple of years, which is a great way to say we love him, but we don't have a spot for him right now. We're sending him to a minor league team to get some experience. It's a classic situation. He's on the bench occasionally, which is a great place to be. You get to watch the game, learn from the pros, and maybe get a few minutes at the end of the game to show what you can do. Closing thoughts. The future is now. Maybe. So there you have it. A list of every Premier League team's hopefuls. Will they all make it? Probably not. Will some of them become the next global superstar? We can only hope. But for now, they're all just kids with a dream. A lot of talent, and a whole lot of pressure. So what do you think? Who will break out? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, the Premier League is a league of dreams, a league of nightmares, a league of triumphs, a league of flops. It's all part of the fun. See you next time.